y'all, this is Synosis. Now it's the final part of the Game of the Year video. Yes, part 2 ended up being 56 minutes. The first part was 39 minutes 50 seconds. So finally part 3. Now we're going over the 9 final games. Each of the games from top 10 to 1 has got a different score now. So yep, so they're all a lot tighter. At number 9 is Resident Evil 2 Remake for the PS4 at 80 million points. And blah blah blah, the text below is written blah 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 blah. You know. Now on to number 8. This is quite a leap, although yes, it's only double the amount of number 9 in terms of score. And yes, I know number 10 and number 9 was slightly more than double in score. Between them, I call them close. But I do consider it closer for 10 to 9, even though it's more than the distance from number 9 to 8 math-wise. Yes, I know it contradicted what I said there, but number 10, the math-wise, is very close. Updated 28th of December 2019, fell down from number 8 to number 9. Now I needed to mention that above there, because that was the old text. For example, with the position it had and with the score and everything being like very, very different and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's of course the text above like didn't have to make any sense really, to be honest. But I want to read that so you know what the original text was there. Anyway, so first off, some backstory. RE2, Resident Evil 2, was my first Resident Evil back in the day. Now I had a friend, well basically, I was not as close to this friend as my friend was. But he had the original Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation, not the director's cut, which was released later. RE1 was also available on PC and Sega Saturn. Although I believe Sega Saturn only got the game once the director's cut happened, which for some reason had a different theme for one of the areas, which I guess might have been due to music licensing issues. Anyway, I don't remember if I had RE1 on the PS3, if I downloaded it as one of the classic games. I of course did play through it on the Nintendo DS, which was my second Game Boy console. First one was Game Boy Advance SP Tribal, the Nintendo DS, the Nintendo DS Lite, the Nintendo 3DS, the original teal bluish one, the Nintendo 3DS XL, then finally the new Nintendo 3DS, the white one, that was inspired by the PAL Japanese SNES, and not the ugly American thing. Anyway, that game had 2 modes for the single player. I forgot. Single player. I forgot what I was called the mode. I forgot what I was called the mode. But it also had a classic mode. Assisted. And the game had 2 modes for single player. I forgot what it was called. The mode. But it also had a classic mode. I forgot what it was called. But it also had a classic mode. I thought it really, really weird. It might have been that I meant to write something else, but then, I end up... I think the other one might have been rearranged or something. But yeah, the second mode was easier, had more ammo, and sometimes special encounters would happen. You went into first person, and I believe you had to swipe with a knife using the stylus. The first mode, I forgot what it was called. And then, but it also had a classic mode. I think the other one might have been like rearranged or something. But Jessica Moore was his mama. You went to the first person. I believe you had to swap with the knife using the stylus, I believe. Dogs could happen in that tower near the start, and zombies could happen as well. Although I believe these attacks would only happen in special rooms, but they could happen at any time, and they would never disappear completely from an area. Meaning you could just walk in and out of an area until they appeared, since I believe upon clearing it, it would have ammo or health, so you would get like a lot more health and ammo than normal. Now in classic mode the game is more like the original with less ammo, and it looks and sounds pretty good. I do believe the Nintendo DS Lite was actually slightly more powerful and faster and way brighter screen than the original. Anyway, of the original Resident Evil games, 3 was always my favorite, hence I even imported it for my birthday once. Since I had a fat PlayStation first and I got that spring for it that could trick the lens, and I had a killer, which was kind of like a cheating device. You could plug it into the back of the console because it had like an expansion port on the back on the original PlayStation, but it would boot up games in a special menu. You could also go into the folders of games and stuff, which was hella cool. You could even like listen to cut sound files and stuff from Soul Reaver, like how the Light Reaver was supposed to be in the first game and stuff. So many cut voice lines. It was super cool because you could go into the data and you could hear like voice lines that were never used in the game, like stuff like that was really cool. But of course I mainly used it to play my imported RE3 from Americas. You basically boot up the console. You came into like a blue screen, I believe. Now I forgot if the cheating expansion unit was called Killer, as that might have just been the name of a cool Desert Eagle like light gun the store had, because it was like Fixaren.se, I believe the store was called. But anyway, you could basically put in any PAL game. Then when the PlayStation Sony logo would pop up, you would open the lid. Now, it would not open fully due to the spring that you would have put into a small hole near the lens. So basically, where the lens is on the original PlayStation, there's like a small hole, right? And in that small hole, you basically put the spring, and the spring prevents the lid from going up fully to its normal position. And when it doesn't go up to its full position, then it doesn't sense that it has been opened. So you can basically play games with it completely open, basically. It's something you can do also. But anyway, you would basically put in my PAL game. When the PlayStation logo would pop up, you would open the lid. Now it would not fully open due to the spring that you would have put in a small hole near the lens that would allow you to open the lid with the disc still spinning. Then all you need to do was to switch to the American game while the lid was open, then close it back down. Due to the lid never being fully open means it tricks the console and it thinks you never even opened the lid, bypassing the regional lock, since yes, it only checks when a game boots up. Nothing more than that. So when it senses the PAL game, it's like, okay, you can play it. And since it does not sense you switching the disc, it still thinks you're running a PAL game. So the way it was not an advanced copyright system or like regional system on the original PlayStation. It was just check if the disc is NTCS or PAL, and if your PlayStation doesn't match the region, then it doesn't work. But it only checks during the boot up. So if you were somehow able to switch the disc without opening the lid, but of course with the spring in, it doesn't sense you opening the lid, so you trick it that way. So when the PAL game is like, okay, you can run it and switching things, still thinks you're running a PAL game, do remember you need a special type of RGB cable that supports 60 Hz, since in PAL region PlayStation games ran in 50 Hz. So if you didn't have an RGB cable, generally a lot of people would use a specific like super VHS cable. Those would work, I believe, because they count as RGB cables. Yeah, because the PAL region games ran at only 60 Hz, by the way, or ran at 50 Hz instead of 60. Which once I had to sell my fat PlayStation and give it away, and I got a small PS1, I cannot use the special expansion unit on it, so I had to get a PAL version of RE3, which in my opinion looks worse and ran way worse. Like if you got used to the 60 Hz, especially with the dodges, and then go back to 50 Hz, I mean, woof, damn it, Max. I still have my small PS1 tucked away in one of my storage bags that are sealed with like whatever you call it. I mean, this is to open, but it keeps the dust out. And we're on to the actual game. Although first I was never really worried about the game turning out great, considering the RE1 remake on the GameCube, which was later released on the PS4, Xbox One and PC with a remastered version of the RE1 remake, which had tank controls but also a new control scheme that was more similar to RE4, 5 and 6. Also because of the fact that I participated in that survey they sent out a long time ago. I believe it was sometime after RE6. It had like questions about stuff like how likely are you to buy X if we made X collection of said game. There was also talk about remasters and remakes, I believe, in the survey. Yes, there were like questions about the Resident Evil and Mega Man as an example. So yes, probably due to input from the survey is what made like the Mega Man Legacy collection and the X collection happens, as well as like the remaster of RE1 remake, the RE0 remaster, the Code Veronica remaster, Resident Evil 2 remake, and the RE3 remake, which I believe they started working on at the same time as the RE2, since Capcom teams are pretty gigantic at this time, I believe. So now finally onto the game. Now it's better than is it better than the original? Yes, yes it is. However, you should still play the original from time to time, as games are quite different, and that's the thing I love about remakes. There are people out there that are apparently tired of remakes because one gets used the same game over and over, blah blah blah, no originality, blah blah blah. Yeah, some people are just stupid. I mean, I'm sorry, but good remakes are very different from the original. It adds more content, more story, new places to explore. Heck, the sewers, which normally was a pretty short part in the original, has now been extended quite a lot. There are more weapons, there is kind of like an A, B scenarios for both characters. There's also a lot of content, there are special unlocks from getting trophies, clearing the game fast enough, ranking high enough, clearing on high difficult modes. Also Mr. X Hex, yeah, I love it. And yes, I know I haven't uploaded all the parts of my Let's Play. Yet heck, I even got my old videos back from 2018 still left to upload. Heck, I mean, I only got 1.22 terabyte left on my 5.45 terabyte USB drive, but taking a 6 terabyte USB drive. And a lot of it is from recorded videos. I just got a bunch of recorded vlogs and smaller videos. On the other SSD drive, I got two 500GB SSD, which are Samsung 860 EVO 500GB. And yes, I know there are Pro variants, and also the new Samsung 900 EVO drives, I believe. 150 drives, they're all a lot faster. Actually, in my old PC, I eventually got an SSD drive, which I think is the Samsung 850 EVO drive. Maybe it was a later model, maybe it was the Pro Evo drive or whatever, but yeah. Drives, I believe, on 950 drive, they're all a lot faster. Generally speaking, I could easily get more of time as well as service, although I don't remember exactly how they were set up, and hopefully it's just a sled thing I can pull out and mount the SSD on it without having to get like extra stuff to put it on. And when Mr. X of course just walks around, he never runs, although he kind of walks fast. Not that there are technically more than one Mr. X, since there are videos on people on PC going out of bounds to see how Mr. X works. I have no idea if you can go through normal, through normal means make two Mr. X's meet each other. Anyway, during the second run, if you choose to do it, once you unlock the second run, you can do it with any character, and it's generally a lot shorter. However, you encounter Mr. X a lot earlier. Now on my hardcore file, I actually had to restart at first. I thought there was an impossible situation with too little ammo left for the first Birkin fight, but I managed, since I kept many different save files during my hardcore one. I was able to kind of speedrun and keep my knives from getting used up. They do hella good damage to Birkin's eye, and you can kill him really quickly even in hardcore mode. Now spare away are just really good in general for saving your life. I don't recommend on the ADA section that on hardcore that you try and do the thing where you don't shoot at all. Apparently using one of the flash grenades count as using a weapon if you're going for the trophies, so just go for it. On a system mode it's much easier, since in the section where you have to go around and scan several things where there are zombies, you killing these are kind of hard without stunning them, and they kill you really quickly. So there are no defense items for you when you're playing as Ada. Graphic, I believe the game runs on the new RE engine, which is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard 7 ran on, which I believe Devil May Cry 5 also ran on, ? Or I'm not quite sure. Game has quite a lot of weapons, and one of the weapons you can get in the sewers, which I believe is only in the A campaign, although I forgot if it's character specific, since I think one of the characters gets a flamethrower down there, while the other one gets the electrical gun, which you want to fully charge. It can kill those annoying sewer monsters pretty easily, but otherwise you want to hope you have stuns or that you can bait them. They can really kill runs when you try to speed run. Sadly, I'm not gotten very good at the plug puzzle, not the one to open the door, but the one to be able to get the flamethrower electrical gun, since doing it optimally is Now, the physics in this engine is amazing, and being able to shoot zombies and see them react differently depending on where you shoot them, or like blow their legs off to leave them easier to get around, shoot off their arms so they kind of cannot grab you, well, at least not the normal way. For speedruns, of course, you just want to shoot them to stun them while you run past. A lot is about memorization, knowing what key items you need, at what points, and of course getting safety items. I mean, normally you don't save very often, but I do recommend some safety save, well, at least on hardcore. Although normal mode it outweighs difficulty, kind of how RE4 did, meaning you should do safety saves even then, since if you're doing too well, then it might just put you up in hardcore mode, like the difficulty kind of just up to hardcore mode, kind of even in normal mode. Of course, too badly in the game kind of puts you in assisted mode. Also, by the way, the Hunk and Tofu mode is pretty amazing, and yes, there are also several Tofus as well. The number 8 is Tales of Berseria on the PS4 at 120 million. So blah blah blah, the text below is fitting blah blah blah. Up to the 28th of December 2019, fell down one spot from number 7 to 8. In at number 8 is Tales of Berseria, which is my preferred Tales game so far. It has what I like to call the Final Fantasy VII effect. It manages to make exploration really interesting. Well, early in the game your hometown gets fucked up, and then you're on a prison island later. Then much later in the game you get to Taliesin, I believe it was the town or the region, but anyway, and you hear about your old hometown, and well, you go there, and I'm not gonna go over what happens, but it's really really good. Now, like with Vesperia, the combat system is very good. I saw the characters were really interesting. There are certain professions also kind of in the game. You can still upgrade your different equipment slots. You can also cook food, and certain characters are better at making certain foods in order to raise the cooking faster. You can send your boat on expeditions to different islands. Well, technically your second boat to different islands, unlocking more over time as your crew levels up, and you can find treasures, food, items, and more. Graphic aids hella anime, which makes it still look good, even though the game is rather old. I think it's 2015, I think. Supposedly on 2020 we're getting a new Tales game, and I'm really excited for it. I think, or it might have just been the game that is called Atelier or whatever it is. Like Koei Tecmo is apparently doing a game that looks very very Tales-esque kinda. Anyway, combat-wise the system feels a lot quicker than the system in Vesperia. Also, certain attacks only seem to chain from certain other attacks. There are also super powerful attacks that have specific requirements in order for you to trigger them. Favorite character, well, that's quite hard, but I really like the pirate guy, Eins, I believe it's called, who has really bad luck. The main character, Velvet Crow. Velvet. Lol, Velvet. Velvet Crow is voice acted by Christina Valenzuela, or Christina V for short. She also voiced acted Shantae inside games. She kind of sounds a bit like Ali Hillis, who voice acts Liara Tassoni, Lightning, and more. The game looks very beautiful and it's great to explore. It's also fairly lengthy, which most Tales games tend to be. This game also has the potential to end up on my top 100 GOAT list games of all time. Not games that have been high on a Game of the Year list don't necessarily end up on the GOAT list, since getting into said list would be a lot harder, since it's really for games that you can keep on playing even after many years. Of course, that list is more of a when rather than should I do it. Oh, by the way, costumes, I need to mention this. Some costumes have special battle music to them, which, by the way, you can also turn off, unlike Persona 5, where certain costumes do have battle themes, but there's no way to deactivate them. But it's pretty good because some, like the battle music on its own is good, but then, you know, certain costumes just gives you some pretty weird battle music, like some off-fitting, like there is like a summer costume that are really fun to use in a certain area in the game, in a certain beach area that you get to, and when you get it for the first time it looks like really amazing and stuff like that, yeah. Then at number 7 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, or SSBU, only Piranha Plant DLC, Nintendo Switch, 130 million. So this game managed to climb all the way from number 18 to number 6, replacing Detroit Become Human, which was previously number 6. Updated 28th of December 2019, fell down from number 6 to number 7. Got the Fighter Pass Season Pass on the 3rd of December, and also the Sans Pack on the same date. I got the rest of the DLC, like the extra costumes and hats, on the 5th of December. Some were free due to using up my coins that I had gotten from saving up. So like when you get games on the digital store, you actually get points. On the Nintendo Switch, you also get points from physical games, but the points only last for, I believe they last for a year or a certain amount of months, so you want to make sure that you use them up. And you can use, for example, up the points, you know, to buy like cheaper stuff, like especially like DLC for something else, but yeah. You can do it, well, you can claw him, no, I'm stone and beating me. I'll do this with my mind, you just obey me. And you stammers in my eye, you better star me, see me, scrub me, feed me my pie. You ready, already, oh easy, oh, I beast your crushing easy, though, I totally the very top DNA. Now, you need a shanty, a song, you're an extremely scary reading that conquers. You go na 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 na. Need I say more? I need to do that quietly because it's getting pretty late now, 1 hour from midnight, y'all. Yes, I do actually. I really love Ultimate, and keep in mind that I played solo, and it's the best solo since Melee, in my opinion. Yeah, it's pretty good, although at the highest difficulty, which is 9, I believe, at least in Smash mode. It can reach your input, I believe, and XDA can be better than a lot of human opponents at times, although certain AI are more stupid than others. Game has a lot of content, and there are some music you have to unlock. Do note that with patches, more songs have been added to the game, like the latest patch added Mega Man X intro stage, remix, and Zero's theme from Mega Man Zero. That's pretty dope. Do note I enjoyed V-Gunner a lot before, but then of course with sounds it gets even better, although I kinda wish they added his voice. I mean, not really a voice, but the sound he makes when his text goes in on tail. To be honest, I would not be surprised if during 2020 we'll be seeing more characters added to Smash, and hopefully more soundtrack songs in the future updates. I would not be surprised if we would get Papyrus, since generally he tends to be more popular than Sans. What I mean is, like, instead of like, okay, Sans became a me costume, but I think that in terms of character from Undertale, that I think that Papyrus as a playable character honestly just makes more sense, because I think that Papyrus is actually more popular. I at least prefer Papyrus over Sans, but yeah. But it would be really awesome though if they made Susie from Deltarune. I mean, her team was pretty amazing. Like if they put her in the game, you know. Although if they use that more music from Undertale, that's fine too. And that's when I mentioned the whole music and stuff like that. Do note Super Smash Bros. Melee was my first Smash game, then Super Smash Bros. Brawl, then the Super Smash Bros. 4 for the Wii U, which did not have another title. I also got it for the 3DS as well, although there are some special things unique to the 3DS variant as well. There were like certain stages and stuff. Throughout the different games, I have had many favorites and characters I play with. Yeah. Throughout the different games, I've very many favorite characters I play in general. In Brawl, for example, I really enjoyed Samus, King Dedede, Wolf, Ike, Ganondorf, Snake, Toon Link. Yes, I even played online. And yeah, Samus, if I remember correctly, was really bad. I mean, sure, the lag made it extra bad, but I did still enjoy playing it online. In Super Smash Bros. 4 Wii U, I enjoyed Cloud, Ike, King Dedede, Link, Toon Link, Samus, Ganondorf, Mega Man. I also enjoyed all of them, Mii Fighters, Brawler, Gunner, and Sword Fighter. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, I enjoyed Samus, Link, Captain Falcon, and as far as what goes, I don't remember what characters I unlock. I, for example, never remember playing Young Link nor Ganondorf as an example. In Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I enjoy King K. Rool, Young Link, Ganondorf, Dark Samus, Ike, Mii Fighters, all of them, Brawler, Gunner, Sword Fighter, Cloud, Joker, Hero, Dragon Quest 8 variation. I had Dragon Quest 8 on PlayStation 2, and it was my first Dragon Quest game. Anyway, I also enjoy Piranha Plant, Banjo-Kazooie, Mega Man, King Dedede, Toon Link, Wolf, and that's all I can remember for now. You can of course add to that, you can add like a Richter as well. Not someone, I prefer Richter over someone. But I actually do play a lot of like different characters, but overall, like if you would say like, oh, what's my favorite, for example in Brawl. You know, in Brawl I actually mained King Dedede first. I believe I mained King Dedede. No, first I mained Ike, and then King Dedede, and then eventually I mained Wolf at the very end and stuff like that, yeah. Well, I mean, I cannot try to main Samus, but Samus is just... Samus in, like, Brawl was just really bad, and it was also because of the lag online, it was, like, really hard. Especially if you just aren't good at the Smash games overall, and I'm not, like, very good at them, like I know what I'm bad at, you know, like, in the games I know that what I need to get better at, you know, like I'm very bad at the whole age guarding thing, you know, is something I'm just so bad at, you know, and it's just like really frustrating, you know, and stuff that, and sometimes I just easily lose track of my character, sometimes, you know, it's really hard to focus and stuff, so yeah. The game has a lot of stages, a lot of music, although for example to use the Undertale remix you have to play on a few select stages. There is sadly no Undertale stage. Also certain companies was probably pretty stingy about the music, like Final Fantasy VII only has 2 tracks. Heck, I hope something they could do is add more songs, but maybe add remixes of songs from like the remake that people have done, since I believe those remixes count differently than using the actual songs from when the Final Fantasy some remakes comes out. What I mean by that is that there are people that have done remixed versions of songs that would kind of fit to be in the remake, but I don't know, not gonna be in me, because I believe like, right, couldn't they use fan music, for example, for Final Fantasy VII and add those tracks into the game rather than trying to get the license, because maybe Square Enix says, no, you cannot use more than this amount of music, but they don't need a license, correct, to use fan music, right? Because how does that work? Like a fan, if a fan makes a remix of a track, right, they don't need to get the actual permission from Square Enix to do so. So couldn't they technically use the music from fan-made music, for example, for Final Fantasy VII, and put that in the game? Like, I don't know, maybe it works differently when it's for games and stuff that, rather than, you know, and stuff that's, yeah. Anyway, at number 6 now is Dragonball FighterZ for the PS4 at 200 million. Got DLC for it over a long time and got a few characters before later purchase both fighter passes on the PS4. I met PS4 twice there. And the text below is sweet enough that I had to delay the Game of the Year video, blah 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 blah. So this is it, down to the top 10 games, and first off is the fighting game that I would recommend the most for anyone to get, even though it's not the highest ranking one. But you know, it's on through there. This is mostly due to less single play content than the games above it. Updated 28th of December 2019, the game climbed from number 10 to number 6. Now, first off, this game is fairly easy to get into, has a decent tutorial, and there are some character trials. Overall, the game feels very quick and definitely feels like you're playing an episode one of the many Dragon Ball animes. In fact, I would recommend you go watch all of Dragon Ball Super on Crunchyroll in Japanese with English subtitles. It makes you enjoy the game even more, trust me. I of course watched through all of it quite a long time ago. Anyway, initially I did not get any extra characters for the game and only played with the initial roster of characters. 21 characters I believe was the initial roster. I had to look this up. You can unlock Goku Super Saiyan Blue SSGSS, which is actually Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, apparently. And of course Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue SSGSS, or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. And Majin Android 21. SSB Goku and Vegeta can also be bought. Look at the Super Saiyan Blue. Can also be bought. I believe they are slightly cheaper than the regular DLC characters. This includes, this is the basic roster here. 21 characters plus 3 with unlocks. So 24 base characters total. Android 16, Android 18 with Android 17, Yamcha, Beerus, Kid Buu, Majin Buu, Captain Ginyu with Ginyu Force, Cell Perfect Form, Frieza Final Form, Adult Gohan, Teen Gohan, Goku Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan, which is weird, because that's the same thing as the Super Saiyan GSS, because it's the Goku Super Saiyan form is like Super Saiyan SSGSS, so I don't know why it's, yeah, but then maybe it's like Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. So yeah, Goku Black with Samatsu, Gotenks, Hit Krillin Nappa with Cyberman, Piccolo Tien with Shiatsu, Trunks and Vegeta Super Saiyan SSGSS. Alright, but that Goku there is not the Super Saiyan Goku, it's the unlockable character, right? Yeah. But wait, where did I put the regular Goku? Like, where did I put Super Saiyan Goku? Goku Super Saiyan Blue SSESS. Unlockable Beta K-LED Hyperbolic Time Chamber Course Hard Variant with a stay rank. Can also be pockets for 500k Senny or for $2 to $3 normally DLC carry about $5 was for those who pre-ordered the game before it came out during 2018. You would get it right away, and same thing for Vita Super Saiyan Blue SSGSS. Unlockable Beta K-LED Extreme Gravity Spaceship Course with at least an A rank. Got big kids for 300k Senny or for $2 to $3 normally DLC characters are about $5 In Android 21 unlockable Beta 3rd and final arc of Story Mode, which is the Android 21 saga. Now the thing is though, the Majin Android 21 is something you already have, but you have like the evil version of that Android, so I thought that it would just unlock the good version for you, but that does not seem to be the case, so it's like really weird, because you already have like Android 21 already from the start basically, if I scroll up right. Because the thing is, I remember having her before even beating the story mode and stuff that, so I don't know, maybe there was another way to earn it by just earning enough cash and stuff, because it seems weird then, because I thought that when I beat the story mode that I would unlock the good version of it, as maybe a color or maybe as a playable character, but No thinking about buying them for the Senny. It actually seems like you get them by having over a certain amount of Senny, but there are also been reports of people getting them through story mode as well, which of course gives some Senny, I believe, too. It costs USP from spending certain amounts of Senny and not joining one of the game character communities to show which character you are a fan of. You can unlock stuff and also get cash rewards. So once you get all the rewards from being in one character group, they move to another one to be more effective, since it really helps to unlock things faster, rather than hoping to get lucky with the chests, which you can use your Senny to get the chest. And no Senny is not bad at all. DC characters are Fighter Pass 1, which had 8 characters, is Broly from Dragonball Z, which is from the movie as well. And then you have Bardock, and the Broly, it's basically his God Saiyan form, basically, is when he's fully hulked out in his green form. And then of course we have Bardock, Vegito, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, Fused Zamasu, Base Goku, Base Vegeta, Cooler, Final Form, and Android 17 DBS from Dragon Ball Super. Total of the season 1 was 32 characters, then counting in the extra unlockable ones. And Fighter Pass 2 added 6 more characters, so Broly from the DBS movie released early December, Gogeta, which is SSBU, so the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, and then Goku from Dragon Ball GT, which is basically young Goku, and Janemba, Jiren, and Videl with Great Saiyaman. Total of the season 2, 38 characters. I believe I ended up getting 3 or 4 or so characters before I ended up getting the season passes, fighter passes. And note, I did not get several characters at once, but rather a long period of time, I believe. Do note, of course, if you end up getting too many characters from the same fighter pass, then the cost of the fighter pass might not be worth it. Of course, sometimes DLC can be on sale as well, so do watch out for that, as well as since sale happens quite often on PSN. I believe the 3 characters I got over time was Base Vegeta, Vegito, and Gogeta. If I got 4 of them, then I probably ended up getting one of the characters you can unlock, which was SS Vegeta. And unlockable characters are their Super Saiyan blue form. Vegito, I believe, is the fusion from Super, achieved by wearing the angel earrings. I believe Goku wore 1 and Vegeta wore 1. The one, while Gogeta is the fusion between Goku and Vegeta, which they do during the tournament, I believe, in Dragon Ball Super in one of the later episodes, if I remember correctly. Now it might just be the reverse, though. I do remember correctly, which is within parentheses here. I do remember correctly. So yes, Gogeta is the fusion dance between Goku and Vegeta, while Vegito is from wearing the earrings. I believe they are like Kai earrings, I forgot the exact name. They're not actually Kai earrings, they're Poro någonting. Potoro earrings. Potoro earrings. Within parentheses. Question mark. I think they're called Potoro or something like that. Wait, what did I do now? Wait, did I press something or did I press? No, Potoro earrings. Yeah, I just somehow scrolled up. Potoro earrings. I thought I didn't delete anything that would have been who deleted all of the list. Yeah. Let's see, where is Potoro earrings? Yeah, I think they're called Potoro earrings. And it might be after that guy. Is he called Potoro, the guy? I forgot what he was called. He was like in the region of Dragon Ball Z. Because Dragon Ball Z was actually the first Dragon Ball anime. And it was like it had different seasons to it, you could say. But of course, you know, it changed with how it looks, you know. And stuff like that, yeah. But I believe it's after the Popo guy or whatever it's called, maybe. But I don't remember if they were called Potoro or Pub. Or Potoro. Yeah, but the one that is fused with the angel earrings, they had to use that form in order to take on, I believe, fused Zamasu, who became fused with Goku Black, while Goku Black was a fused from Zamasu, the angel wearing an earring and another wearing an earring, which is the evil Goku from the future. I might be misremembering it all since it's been a while since I watched it, probably more than 1 year ago. So yeah, because it's kind of confusing though that like Goku Black is a fusion between two between like regular Zamasu and you know, because you can see that because Goku Black has one of the earrings, and then basically, or maybe he fights alongside Zamasu, but then when they fuse together they become the special Zamasu Angel form. Because there is also a fused Zamasu. But the thing is, I thought that Goku Black was a fuse, for example, since he's wearing one of the earrings. Or maybe it's just that the Angel can share his power with someone. If he just lends someone the actual earring, that might be what it is actually, that the Angel used, the Zamasu Angel used, shared his earring with Goku Black, and that just made him really, really powerful. That might be what it is, and then the fused Zamasu is used when they fuse together, when Goku Black fuses together with the Angel. But yeah. While Goku Black was a fuse from Zamasu, the Angel wearing an earring and another wearing an earring. So yeah, because I thought that like Goku Black wasn't his base form, like I thought that Goku Black was a fuse in itself. Which seems like really, which is what made it confusing. Goku Black was a fuse from Zamasu, the Angel wearing an earring and another wearing an earring, which is the evil Goku from the future. It might be misremembering those since it's been a while. So yeah. But yeah, fused Zamasu is when Zamasu wears both earrings, but then fuses with evil Goku's base form, or base Goku Black, I guess you could call it. But then got down to remember very well. Yes, I know I could just look things up, but yeah. Do I want to look up? Actually, I do. Actually, we want to know. Goku Black Wiki. Okay, let's see here. He's the red entities, the regional present Zamasu, former North Kai and Supreme Kai apprentice serving the Supreme Kai of Universe 10 Gowasu. From down off the main timeline, in which he stole the body of the original present Goku with the Super Dragon Balls, and so to restore all mortals alongside future Zamasu. He was then given the name Goku Black by future Bulma when he initially referred to himself as Goku. Counterpart Zamasu future Zamasu Goku Monaka. Does it say about the battle? Is the question. Dragon Ball Supers. As future songs fires upon Masenko. Remember these. In the form of Super Saiyan Rose, yeah, that's when his hair turns pink because normally he uses that black hair. Super Saiyan Rose form, which is the form in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Indeed, defeat Goku, but used as he prepares to fight Kamama. Future Master stops him as he arrives on back powers to save Goku King for him. Yeah, black and small uses Potara earrings is what it's called. Not Potoro, Potara. Potara earrings. Potara earrings. Yeah, black and small, so then use the Potara earrings to fuse into one single powerful warrior known as Fuse Masu. Interesting. So Goku Black is technically Zamasu, but like Zamasu who took over Goku's body. Basically that's what Goku Black actually is. So, yeah. Anyway, more about the game. It looks really nice, runs in the Unreal 4 engine, and again looks similar to the Dragon Ball Super anime. And I guess the ones that came later that I've not seen yet, like Dragon Ball Z, I believe, came after the Dragon Ball Super movie, which was the Broly one, I believe. I have actually watched the Dragon Ball Broly. I have watched the English version, the English dubbed version, not like a fan dub, but there is a dubbed version which I believe Fun Animation was behind. But yeah. The game has an arcade ladder mode with different patch challenges you can take, which increases the amount of fights you do. There's also exists a harder mode of each one. Note you need to get a high grade during the fights in order to progress to the final battle, otherwise it will end early and you won't score as high. You can unlock 2 characters from arcade ladder, which I already covered above in the character list section. There's also a story mode which sadly I have not finished yet. It's pretty funny though, although later on I do correct that I have finished it at this point. And also started a hard mode, like because you need to clear all 3 story modes before you start unlocking hard mode. This game has an out combo system as well, which by mashing the same button, there are 3 different buttons you can mash. The light ones does the long combo, but the 2 other buttons deal more damage but short combo. And another thing is you can, for example, know part of a ground or ground into area combo, but then maybe you don't know or aren't very good at executing the full combo. Then you can, for example, use to add some auto combo hits by mashing the same button at the end of your combo. Now Super Saiyan are pretty easy to pull off. There are also some things the game does not teach you. I believe it does not teach you about the sparking thing, which it actually does, by the way. Which works once per battle, and it's a bit similar to X Factor, it seems, although I don't know if it gets stronger the less characters you have. Less also popping it is not always safe depending on what character you're currently facing, but yes, it does scale up, so the less character you have left, the longer it lasts and the stronger it is. It does regenerate health for you up to a certain value. Normally, I believe blue health only recovers when the character is in reserve, so it's a way to recover health even on an active character. You also did a lot more damage, I believe, during sparking as well. There are also certain supers that can be powered up more than normal. You can also get Dragon Balls during a fight, which I believe if you get them all, you summon Dragon. Is it Shenron? I forgot how you spell it. I don't know if it does the same thing as in the anime, which is gonna give you a wish, which sometimes in the anime is the wish for the people back. You can get a second use of Sparking or Sparking Blast if you summon Shenron and you wish for the ultimate power. Summoning Shenron, you need to get all the Dragon Balls during a battle. There are combo requirements to get them 10 plus hit combo for 1-star Dragon Ball, 20 plus hit combo for 2-star Dragon Ball, 30 plus hit combo for 3-star Dragon Ball. However, if you use a light attack combo, I guess via the auto combo system, you'll be a random Dragon Ball, so I guess you could technically get them all that way as well. I believe you need 7 Dragon Balls, I forgot the total amount, which is, the correct amount. I tried to look it up but couldn't find it anywhere where they said the exact amount. Then is 7 bars of Super Meter, and then light attack combo, light attack combos, I'm guessing would scare about them. restore my health, bring back my ally, give me ultimate power, make me immortal is the choices you have. First one restores health to full for the current active character. Second one revives a fallen team member with 50% health. I'm guessing you cannot choose which. If two have died, of course. If only one have died, then you will always hit the one you want. Third one boosts your ki to the maximum, 7 bars, and you can use Sparking Blast again. So make sure you use Sparking Blast before you use it. The fourth and final one restores 5% of your health, and you obtain auto restoration of your super meter, which seems weird because that's the one that scans immortality and like 5% of health. Like considering there's one that restores you to full health, but you also obtain auto restoration of your super meter. So I'm guessing that makes your super meter recover over like time, which I'm guessing makes it fill up at a faster rate automatically rather than putting it on the maximum auto bars right away. So maybe it is supposed to be that it actually refills your health over time instead, or something, I don't know. One thing I really like is the whole team building aspect, since characters complement each other in different ways, and it's actually quite fun to go into tutorial and just figure out stuff. Some of the combos learned in the character trials are not super bad, really, at least to start off. I will also say there are some similarities between quite a few characters, meaning generally when you learn one character that will generally help you with a few others, since a lot of characters have similar inputs for supers and certain combos. Note that this game is not that far behind the number 9 spot, even though, yes, I know the number is a lot higher. And that was, you know, some of the old stuff that was written there. Math-wise, that is. Note, I really love the whole what do you call it, hub world. I guess that you can use it to access different game modes. You can also view like matches that other players have done, which is pretty cool. And apart from downloading characters, I believe I ended up downloading one of the commentator packs and also one of the anime music packs for the game before I got the 2 fight passes. I looked up which of the 2 music packs contained the Shosetsu Dynamic from Dragonball Super, which is my favorite intro from the show. I do prefer the Japanese version, of course. You can actually, if you search for the Shosetsu Dynamic exactly like that, you can get full song text in Japanese. I mean, you can sing it pretty well if you try and mimic how the person who sings it sounds when he's singing the words. The words. The words. So I recommend that you train really well. Okay. Here's some extra stuff written on the 28th of December 2019 down below. So with the latest patch, I believe came out on the 3rd of December, although I did not play it until the date above. It had a Christmas holiday, of course, meaning you could get holiday capsules, meaning more avatars in the hub world, and also more SATA message pics or SATA stamps, the pictures you can select to go with the text you can send. Also, Brawler DBS became available for free, of course, because of the Fight Pass 2. And it's the last character in said pass. No idea if there's going to be a 3rd Fight Pass. I mean, hopefully. I really hope the game will sell well enough for there to be sequels. I, of course, have no idea if each sequel will still have all the characters from the previous game or not. I mean, I believe Unreal 4 Engine is still the latest one, I think. The next game would most likely be on PS5, since next year Dragon Ball Kakarot is coming out. Anyway, DBS Broly is a real song. He, of course, is quite large, so yeah, big hitbox. Of course, smaller characters are not really that much harder to hit, but I feel like when you're dashing in the air, not Dragon Rushing, since technically the Dragon Rush is the grab thing you do, which is meant to break a person that is blocking. It's one that usually adds 30 to 38 or so hits when you do it. One thing I had completely forgotten about, which is one big reason it was able to climb so much, is in character trials, rather than saying like L attack, M attack, H attack, it's instead square, triangle, circle. It even shows you the colored button, and this is amazing. Why? Well, because I was not bad at combos back in the day, both in Soul Blade and Tekken 3. I had an easy time learning combos. As I know, in those games the combos were not really that advanced. However, I feel like in other games, even if they show like the colors you press or whatever, where they show it when they actually show the symbols like the actual square button with the right color. It makes it easy for me to learn. Since I played both Marvel's Capcom 3 and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom for a very long time, and I never got any good at it. So maybe have an easy time learning when you actually show the buttons that way, rather with the actual PlayStation button symbols like square, triangle, circle, cross, R1, R2, R1, R2, then showing a button as light punch, light kick, horizontal punch, vertical punch, and so on and so forth. Like if it uses like light punch, for example, and then light kick and stuff that, instead of it showing the square and then showing the color, then I have like an easier time memorizing what I need to do, and I have an easier time learning than if it actually shows you being the other way. So I don't know why that is, but that's just how my brain seems to work. So yes, most of the character tries are not particularly hard, or the game teaches you about sparking. You only need to actually press 2 buttons to do it, although you can alternatively just press all the face buttons, square, triangle, circle and cross. Otherwise I think it was either L1 R2 or R1 R2. It's actually R1 R2 by the way you press for sparking. Other things you can learn, well, you can learn in story mode as well, it seems, rather than in the tutorial. Although I'm guessing the lessons are available in the tutorial as well. When you do a Dragon Rush by pressing forward and then I believe one of the assist buttons or the R1 button, I forgot which, you can do a snapback, which of course has been in a lot of games including the old Marvel's Capcom 3. I believe it do cost a bit of meter though, normally though. Now when you get hit in the air, I believe you just press a certain direction. When you start falling down and you can recover in said direction. Also, you slightly before you touch the ground, you press down in order to recover up faster. You can alternatively, even though the tutorial says you press it before you hit the ground, if you hold down, you can actually lay down for longer, delaying the wake up. You can also tag in while blocking. If you block while blocking, pressing, I believe it's actually not backwards, but press forward with the right timing and then press a button, I think, to tag in the character. It's also used a regular tag-ins and a quick tag-in as well. I believe they don't spend meter drawing it solely, but they do otherwise. Well, a quick tag-in I think do. You can double jump, you can dash, add dash, you can super jump, which I believe is just down and up. You can of course back dash as well. In a regular rush, not Dragon Rush, you can do many different angles, and generally it can help you get through defenses a bit. Actually with small characters like Gotenks, Goku, GT, Krillin, if you jump at a certain angle before you rush chase, you can, even if the block used, keep pressing the button until they fail. Can, well, at least against the AI. One thing you can also do, for example, is do your square combo, do a certain amount of hits, and then use R2. Yeah, I believe it's R2. Or you can basically like square, 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 jump up a bit, R2, and then you can keep them kind of in a certain thing to eventually they will just fail their blocking basically. A lot of times, yeah. Also, if you hit at the correct angle, I believe your rush will actually count as an overhead, which makes you have to block the reverse direction. I believe if it's an overhead, you basically need to, instead of like holding back, you need to hold like forward or something like that to block. I believe it's like complicated, but yeah. If the block, you just keep pressing the button until they fail. Well, it works at least well against the AI. Universally, it seems at least, and most character level 3s can be used by fireball motion backwards in R1. Yeah, now we got into the whole R1, okay, which is down, diagonal, left, and then R1. Now, generally in a lot of fighting games there are a lot of shortcut inputs, which I believe is something like down, down, left, left, then R1. But yeah, doing the motion is not really that hard, and yes, even if you're new to fighting games or you're a masher, the thing is, it seems that people just don't get how to do the input, like even back on the Super Nintendo controller. Like usually they would actually just try and hit the buttons, then let go of the D-pad when pressing each one rather than doing it like a motion. Like a lot of people would use like and then press it and then like wonder why doesn't it work, you know. So let's say you do a fireball back on the D-pad, you press or you just hold down, and yes, you can even kind of do it slowly depending on the game. Then you kind of slide your thumb backwards and diagonally back to the left, and then once you reach the end of your input, press R1. I mean, I could technically show you it on the Super Nintendo controller here, but the keyboard is not long enough, but basically, so let's say you're doing the fireball motion, then you hold you press down on like let's say you're doing fireball back, right? You hold down on the D-pad, and then you basically whoop. You go like to the left like that. You drag it from one part of the D-pad to the back, and then you basically press the punch button or whatever button it is. You press R1 in this case. Where am I? Like usually they would actually use try and hit buttons. So let's say you do a fireball back on the D-pad, you use press and hold down. Yes, you can even do it kind of slowly. Again, then you kind of slide your thumb backwards and diagonally back to the left. Once you reach the end of the input, you press R1. Now actually on a kid stick, it's almost just like a flick motion. Like you can do it just like, you can just do it like very, very quick. You can use like that's the thing in like a lot of fighting games. You can use do very quick motions in order to pull something off. But in some games, you're also allowed to do like really slow motions. Like you can use do a really slow fireball, and stuff that as well because of like stored inputs. I believe it's a thing that's in a lot of fighting games. Which is also true on controls. Once you learn to do it quick enough, remember that it's direction sensitive, meaning if it's fireball back and you're facing right, then you do what I explained above. But if you're facing left, then you have to do down, diagonal, right, and then R1. On a diagonal stick, it's kind of easier to just slide, but you slide it down, then you just move it until it's in the back position by following the edge, like hold down, then move it left until it's fully to the left without going up too high, and then press R1. Generally, level 1s tend to be fireball motion forward, which I also explained above, which is like and then if that makes sense. Do note certain supers can be powered up even by other characters if you have them on the team. Like generally, certain beam supers can be powered up by other Saiyans. One thing also to note without combos is they are with square, triangle, and circle, being light, medium, and heavy, while cross is special, I believe, like special attacks. Generally, the medium and heavy auto combos are shorter. You can also kind of mix them as well as beginning with that and going into medium and then like heavy, etc. One thing I noticed with DBS Broly is that his really powerful stomp combo seems to be done with, I believe it was either medium or heavy. I believe it's actually medium, or like with the triangle button. Meaning I believe I kind of found a way to begin with lights, then going into heavies or mediums or whatever. Which basically it seems like you can do like part of a ground combo with square, and then before you go into the air you just start with triangle instead to go over to his like stomp combo, because his stomp combo is like really powerful. And it's only his regular form that has stomp combo, not his super mega powerful form. Regular Broly, by the way, which is actually, I would say it's Super Saiyan Green, is his powered up state. Now during the tournament in Dragonball Super, you see a girl who I believe gives into rage, I think it is, and she goes green and hulks out, and it appears that this form is really powerful. I believe in the movie Broly is meant to be, although I'm not quite certain, but he's actually an old character that they defeated in earlier arcs, but he's survived. Now actually in the movie he's a legendary Super Saiyan. He is also has a god Broly form, by the way, and now supposedly Broly is a pushover compared to Beerus according to Takao Koyama. But it's not really weird now, actually, at least according to the anime. There are at least 3 individuals more powerful than him, one being his teacher, which I guess is Whis. Also note he fears that Ultra Instinct Goku might be stronger than him, although apparently throughout the anime or different animes he has never used more than 70% of his power. Bruce, by the way, is based off Akira Toriyama's cat Depot, which is the Cornus Rex. Here are some more updates. So today on the 30th of December 2019 I finished the story mode. Well, the last one upon completing it hard mode became available for the first story path. Note there are 3 story paths that you play through, and it have their own stat tracking, and it's actually quite a lot of content, if I'm being honest. Do also note that on hard mode enemies are obviously high levels. Of course you can skip cutscenes, you have already seen. Note there are there are hidden like shot scenes you can get if you have the right combination of characters, or if you fight like a specific enemy. The order the characters are in matter too, I think. Now sadly, I thought beating the mode would unlock like the Android 21 good variant for just like regular play. I mean, even if it would have just been a certain color option, that would have been cool. Also, if the evil version, the color form of it from the third story path, I believe, like when you select Android 21 normally, you don't have that color that's being used for story mode for the evil one. So in the third one, it apparently shows that in the third story mode, the Android 21, it shows it good form, but then the evil form becomes a different color instead of the default color, and I believe that color is not selectable even when you select Android 21, like for multiplayer or just from like battling the AI or whatever, you know, like you cannot select a specific color that is in the story mode. Now yesterday it was, I believe, on the 29th of November, I watched the Dragonball Super movie. It was pretty great. Yes, I watched the English dub since I could not find a Japanese one, which would have been preferred. And yes, Broly does go into the God Brawl form when he's fully hulked out. So yes, both the forms in-game are the ones from the movie. Actually, power level wise, Broly is stronger than both Vegeta and Goku. There's also even a flashback scene. Yes, the King Vegeta sends him away and sees him as a threat. That yes, his power level they measured was higher than his son Prince Vegeta, and also higher than Goku, or sorry, Kakarot. You also get to see Kakarot's parents, one of which is Bardock. After I'm playing the story mode, I got to try out a lot more characters, and yes, I do enjoy the majority of the casting game from the standard roster. Would have actually been fun to see maybe an extra story chapter that would have had some other DLC fighters in them. I mean, just a thought. Now then, Dragon Ball Kakarot is coming in January 2020, I believe on the 17th or 19th or so. But we're going to be pre-ordering it, although the combat seems more similar to the 3D ones, Xenoverse games, I believe. There are 3 Xenoverse games, I think. It's an RPG, however. I mean, I guess you can call the story mode in FighterZ also an RPG. Well, you can level up and have 3 slots you can equip perks in. Although yes, from the look of things, there will be 3D battles in Kakarot. You have like attack, item, etc. But you can also move around, use supers and such. You also have level up and HP levels and such, which all, I mean, you have HP levels and like level in super as well. Apparently there is also foods that can buff stat, no idea if it's permanent though. So otherwise I'm guessing the game story is often canon. Hopefully Kakarot is actually a continuation of the story from FighterZ, but with like the DLC characters in it as well, although from the looks of things it might involve time travel, or you partaking in classic moments from the anime, like enemies fight certain famous scenes, because it seems like there will be like fights from Dragon Ball Z, like the earlier seasons and stuff like that, like you will get to play out certain fights, which seems to be really cool and stuff like that, yeah. Next up at number 5 is Batman the Enemy Within for the PS4 at 400 million points, blah blah blah, same thing with the text, blah blah blah. So at number 5 we have my favorite Telltale game to date, which is the second season of Batman. Honestly, this Batman that they have made, well, the story that is, it's really good. It's actually my favorite version of Batman. The whole thing with making Bruce Wayne just as important as Batman is really cool. Also, the decisions you can do can be quite varied. It also feels hella cool to trick the gal that you're working with her, but in truth you were not at all. Now, graphic is just well average. I would say sure, none of the Telltale games have looked particularly good. Although certain games do stand out. Of course, during the game show for 2019, where the Game Awards, they did show just a short teaser on Wolf Among Us 2, which by the way I really like the arena, which sadly only had one season to it, kinda. Not that I used to have Wolf Among Us back on PC, and then of course this year I got it for console. Other Telltale games I played are Summer Max, all the seasons on Xbox 360, Game of Thrones PS4, Wolf Among Us PS4, PC, the Borderlands PS4, and Batman. I forgot what the first season was called. I don't remember really what the first season was called, but the first season was quite special, you know. I've never played the Walking Dead games seasons. Heck, I've only watched the first season as part of the Blu-ray box, so yeah. because like it's a TV series, but there is apparently a Telltale game which has The Walking Dead as well. Anyway, the game has some amazing voice acting, and the characters are really interesting, especially Queen and Joker. I forgot to add like the Minecraft one to that, the Minecraft story mode, which I only played two seasons of that, I think. I don't think I played any more than 1 or 2 seasons of that, I think. I forgot, but yeah. Anyway, the game has some amazing voice acting, and the characters are really interesting, especially Harley Quinn and Joker. And I don't recommend this over any other story-driven game. At number 4 we have Persona 5 Ultimate Edition, PS4 at 600 million. The text blah blah blah. So next up at number 4 is Persona 5, specifically the Ultimate Edition. So yes, I've not finished the game. If I don't, so it probably would have ended up at number 1, to be honest. Now, for those that do not know, I decided to play on Merciless, but blind, like I've not played the game before. Normally you cannot choose it, but it's included in Ultimate. Otherwise, I think you have to pay to get it, otherwise it might just be free. But that you have to beat the game first to be able to use it. Anyway, there are lots of costumes you get, which a lot of them change your battle team. There's also some sweet accessories you get. The XP increasing one is very good and helps offset the big XP reduction on Merciless. Apparently there's an XP reduction also on a difficulty mode below it, so yeah. Do note I did get stuck once on the second boss for like 3 days, although to be honest it wasn't like 3 full days. Like on the first day when I got there I was pretty hungry and I played for a long time, so I did not do that many tries. Second day I only made like 3 to 4 attempts before I went and did something else, and on the third day I beat it first try. Do note, if I would have learned sooner that you can go into the metaverse. So now you can go into mementos almost at any point. And do note, if I would have learned something that you can go into mementos almost at any point, as long as you have it unlocked free time in game. I thought you could only go there when your compatriots would call you about it. But yeah, when you select the hideout via the quick travel, you do not end up exactly at the hideout. Usually it's just one skin off. Or when I can just use the D-pad when doing this, or the keyboard. And by going there you can choose to go inside the palace or to mementos, or of course just back out. Do note, on the second boss I only had one revive adrenaline left and a few healing items, and also level was quite low except for Yuzuki. Do note that Merciless mode is kind of low level run, except each new party member you get will be pretty good level. Note, evasion and agility is the most important stat in my opinion, since yes, you can dodge spells. Well, due to being low on healing items and rest items, I had to hope to get lucky with evasion. As there are things that boost evasion as well, and learning, or getting personas with those spells are important. Now I play up until the bank heist, well I'm close to the end of it. And the bank heist palace is amazing, the music is so damn baller. Yeah, the palace can kick your ass, or if you're not careful. Since in this series SP restoring items are either quite expensive or you don't come across them often. Although there are like ones found sometimes in vending machines, like weaker ones. Do note there are accessories that restores your SP over time, but they're hella expensive. Do also note that there is an item that restores your HP by like 50% at one of the many safe rooms. In Palace there is also a variant that restores 8% of the HP. I also believe there are later variants that also restores SP as well. Note, when you run out of SP you're not entirely defenseless, you can still use HP attacks, and some are quite good, or that they don't tend to be elemental attacks. So if you're up against something strong versus physical and guns, well then you can affect some. Unless of course they hit like garbage and you're using more powerful HP moves. Unless of course they resist the thing in question. Do note, on Merciless mode, if something is weak to something then it's a lot weaker to it. This is true for both opponents and you as well, so make sure you know what your persona is weak to. You can of course also be stronger than something, which again has a big multiplier to it, I believe, since yes, on Merciless. Multiplayer high, but they work both ways, so there are multipliers both for For I believe if you're strong against something, the multiplier is higher. But also if something is weak to something, the multiplier is higher. So if something is weak to something, it's gonna take a shit ton of damage. So yeah, against certain boss fights, there are certain personas you don't want to use, because then you're gonna end up taking way more damage than you should. So yeah. So otherwise the game is really interesting, and building up confidence are really fun to do. Also there's a lot of time elements going on, and that whole aspect on getting out as much as possible from your time is hella cool. Also yes, you even learn stuff from the questions you get, and also the tests you can take. Now next year there's a Royal Edition, I believe. Hey wait, where have I heard that before? Oh, Final Fantasy 15. Anyway, although it being full price seems rather old, although I have no idea if that is also if you own Persona 5 or not. It seems it includes a bunch of more stuff, including an unplayable character. But yeah, full price though. Well, I mean, it at least one more chapter to the story than sure concerning the length of the game, which I believe is 80 to 100 plus hours. There is also New Game Plus, I believe, as well. You're not really gonna do everything on the first run. One thing that's pretty cool is you spend your money wisely, since well, weapons get really expensive quite quick, as the armors. So yeah, of course, if you try and keep everyone at good armors and weapons, it's quite expensive. Oh, by the way, one tip: in Mementos, you really want to kill the mimics, although at my level the XP is not worth it anymore, although the cash is still great, hopefully. There will be later or stronger forms of mimics further down in Mementos. Oh, by the way, Morgana is really good, just blah blah blah, high evasion, meow. Also note, I kinda figured early on that Morgana was special, and yes, she is not human. I also kinda figured that since it appears to look like a cat, it makes it something special, making me think, since it stands out too much, to probably be a servant of Igor, kinda like the two girls. Do note, however, that Igor that helps you kinda seems a bit like a scumbag, and that would not be strange if I understand the old games correctly. In fact, my guess is that the real Igor is dead, and he sent the cat Morgana to find you, or sister player, aka Joker. Also, if Morgana is linked to Mementos, then well, you know how Mementos are the people's palace. Well, what if Morgana was created in Mementos, but all like the hope or will of the people and stuff? Just a crazy theory, but that's just a theory, a Mementos theory. Thanks for coming. Wait, no, that's wrong. Anyway, the teaser is the best way for, because daddy is. And then we have 3 games left. Yeah, let's just cover them now. I mean, I know that there's so much text for the Zelda game, like it's insane how much text I've written for the Zelda game. Should I just cover them tomorrow instead? No, I'm gonna cover them now. So Borderlands 3 Super Deluxe Edition, PS4, 800,000 or 800 million points. So Borderlands 3 used to be number 2, but only fell down 1 position over the game that replaced it. I forgot exactly how low it used to be, but it used to be kind of outside the top 10. At least I do remember that, and yes, it meant that I had to move a lot of games down a position, like further down the list. Text below, blah blah blah, written up the delay. Now we are at the top 3. Yes. It's Borderlands 3 Omega Mulan flying space cactus in space Australia, mate with guns that shoot cucumbers, that spit swords, that fire missiles, that fire nukes, that fire claptraps, that fires rainbows, and explosions noise. So first off, in the Borderlands games I played before, being 2 and the pre-sequel, generally the DLC characters tends to be kind of the best. Once they feel the most fun, generally that is. In 3, of course, there is no DLC characters yet, and well, I mean the base characters have gotten better over time. I mean in 2 they were definitely an improvement over 1, and the DLC characters, the Mechamancer and the Psycho, was both pretty great. Then of course in the pre-sequel, the default roster felt pretty more like the DLC characters from 2, while the DLC characters in the pre-sequel, then some Jack Clone and the daughter of Sir Hamlock, felt even better. Of course in Borderlands 3, a lot of the play character kind of feels like a mix of characters, making them more varied than ever, of course. The villain in this is never gonna be as good as Handsome Jack, but that is quite given. He was an exceptionally well done villain. And one thing is, it seems like the story in most Borderlands games revolves around the siren, which makes sense. So if I got things correctly, in Borderlands 1, you could play as Lilith the Siren, while Handsome Jack's daughter, I forgot her name, which is a huge role in 1, yes, Engel is her name. She's also Siren, and now in 2, Engel is back, and so is Lilith, but the playable Siren is Maya. Now in 3, Lilith and Maya are there, and a new gal too, although I do not know her name. When of course the playable Siren Amara. There's like a... I mean, technically you can say that the 2 Eclipse twins are Sirens as well, so yeah. Or one of them at least is Siren. So in this game it shifts and has a new playable Siren, while the old one usually plays a big part in the story. Story-wise, the game are often bonkers, while still making at least some sense. Well, I mean, in their universe it totally makes sense because explosions! Meow. Also, yes, guns, so many guns, and yeah, of course, there's a lot of trash as well, but generally when you get your hands on something really fun, it's so damn satisfying, and like when you feel the power difference is quite amazing. I'm not yet decided on mine. Now, number 2 is Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring the Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Switch at 1 billion points. So first off this, I don't remember exactly what number this used to be on before. I know it was outside the top 10. I think it was at least number 11 or lower before. The initial score for second place was at first 1.8 billion, but right between the number 1 and number 2 spot got so damn close. Yeah, sure, it's 0.1 billion less than number 1, and it's a high number. However, it was very close, and it could definitely have taken the number 1 spot. So what do I like about it? Lots of things. First off, it's difficult. Well, if your TV had a big input delay in terms of milliseconds or bad audio delay, it matters quite a lot. The first time I did the test, my result was 150 milliseconds of audio lag. So then I set the television to it. Then later on did a test. A second time I got around 90 milliseconds, which is then set the TV audio delay to. Like there is an option on the TV to set to what your audio delay is. If you figure it out. Then I did the test a third time and got a lot higher once again, but it decided to use the in-game audio delay. Since after the result you can use the middle, and I set it to about 90 milliseconds, which seems to yield the best result, as I'm less likely to drop the combo. Although waking up Tingle was kinda hell, so it might be a bit more audio delay than it should be. I have no idea if there is anything I could buy that could check what the TV's audio delay actually is if you set it at 0 at first in the menu. Like there is, I know that there is some kind of device you can get that you could just measure your TV's like audio delay and stuff like that. Anyway, early on, it's when the game is the hardest, when you're low on hearts, and I explored and did as much stuff as possible before finishing in a dungeon, and then I did all 4 back-to-back almost, and I took a screenshot on the order I did them in. First I did Gerudo Runes, Bass, which has the boss though, like the Basket Homos Knights, which felt easy. I sadly did not have an ice rod, so could not go for the achievement. Second I did Tower of Storms, Tower of Hera. I know it's called Tower of Storms, but due to its location being top of that mountain, it reminded me a lot of Tower of Hera, except wind-based. Boss was Glockenspiel. Yes, the Zelda 1 dragon with multiple heads. Again, fairly easy. I basically spread out the damage until all the heads had 1 health left. Since I know what happened when a head dies. Spoiler, it starts flying around the room and it can hit you. I mean, you could say the Zelda 1 mechanic was used in A Link to the Past, or TOTG, Triforce of the Gods, in the blind fight, although its head also shoots, which I think the heads also do, except I did not get to see it during the fight. Also, I forgot if the Japanese version is called Triforce of the Gods. I think it is, since I know it's not called A Link to the Past. Next up I did Frozen Grotto, Whiz Roboe. Yes, and a boa flute done by a certain grill that apparently Andy Bandy Wandy knows. Anyway, it's a fun fight, pretty challenging. You can actually kill the snowflakes he shoots, also kill the smaller visceral sea spawns. Then finally, the Lost Woods dungeon, I forgot the actual name. Anyway, the boss is Gomarakas Goma. And yes, I died 3 times to it. First time I entered with very little health left, since I did not want to go and refill in second and third time. Well, I had only 1 life bar since I did not have any potions on when I cannot attempts. I also tried to do the bow strats, and I have no idea if to count for the achievement. You're only allowed to use the bow always, or if you can kill the eggs. Things spawn small gomas, I guess with the sword, or if that breaks the achievement in the end, I just decided to use regular weapon instead. So yes, earlier, as mentioned above, your lone hearts and exploring is really the key, and getting used to how the game feels. You also want to learn where certain things is, like certain locations are kind of fixed regardless of the seed. The castle always tends to be in the middle. The characters you did not choose will be in Kakariko village, which tends to be to the west, quite close to the coast. The mountain is always north, Lost Woods tends to be kind of east to the middle, Gerudo Desert is southeast, Görs and Zombie all over the place. Although apparently Gerudo Desert can also be like northwest or northeast or whatever. So it's not really true where the locations can be of like that mountain and stuff that. So not fairy fountain as well, the one with the big fairies and not the smaller ones. Have it so you can upgrade weapons or rather infuse them, which cost diamonds. There are lifesteal, which is ruby, which makes the weapon deal the default damage of 1 but restores health every 5 kill. There is weapon damage, titanium. It's the fairy fountain in the northwest. At least in my game, no idea how random the location of fairy fountains is, but generally the one that has the ruby infuse also has the titanium infuse. The titanium infuse is simple and add 1 extra damage, so 2 damage. Then the second fairy fountain, which is kind of middle and south, if I remember correctly, that one has poison emerald, which has the default to deal 1 damage, but then poisons the target, making them take damage over time, which on certain enemies are pretty good, especially one with specific weak points that you cannot hit all the time as long as they don't die on 1 hit. Combo Obsidian has the default 1 damage, but as you keep up to the beat and kill stuff, you build up the combo. And if you check your weapon in the top right, you will notice it will gain up to 2 yellow up arrows on it, indicating it is 2 more damage, making it able to deal 3 damage at max combo when it's rainbow Triforce at the bottom of the screen. So Triforce on the screen changes. First it is a certain way and then it becomes like bigger, I believe, when you're doing it, or almost like electric, and then of course it becomes a rainbow when you're doing like super good, and then you will be dealing maximum damage with obsidian. Obsidian is my favorite. You might want to use titanium until you get good enough. The mob icon on the map shows where the Goron shop is, and for 200 rupees you get the band ring that lets you bathe in lava, since I had flippers at that point, and snorkel. Now the Sora flippers, you find where the Sora King Prince sleeps, then all you do is check for the Sora that does not have a shadow. And in the cave there is also bombs and also arrows. I believe you can use either to attack it. You can also use fire rod, ice rod and more. After you kill it, the flippers are yours. The snorkel you can buy at the shop to the southwest is from Sora. There that I believe sells it for 80 to 100 rupees. He also sells 1 or 2 bottles, total for 80 rupees. Well, I believe you do need to re-enter after buying one. Remember, firing a bottle restores 8 health after you die. Once you pass 8 hearts, usually I would say once you're at 12 hearts or so, it's worth buying red potions for 80 rupees a pop. You can have 3 to 4 bottles, I believe. After fitting all bottles, I kind of went heart piece hunting, and I only needed 1 piece to reach 15 hearts. So after that, I was only missing 4 more heart pieces in order to get 16 hearts. Fun fact, that I believe is also the maximum in the Legend of Zelda, like yes, the original one. And I believe you need 13 hearts plus that to use the magical sword, which you needed 5 to 6 hearts, I believe, for the white sword, knight slash fight sword. Yes, I know this is a lot to take in. Heck, the number 2 might get its very own video, since I need to split it up in several parts anyway to fit all the text. Sorry about. So the music, there is a lot of remixes of tracks from different games. Also note there is a better version of most tracks and a peaceful version when the Triforce meter at the bottom disappears. Once online enemies are dead, on a screen, you can use like move around at any speed you want to. Not beasts and stuff activates combat again, and so does anti-fairies, the floating skull-like things that Lucky only saw in Frozen Grotto so far, and it tanks hits lucky enough you can hookshot, longshot it to stun it and master attack. The key music is the Light World Dungeon music from A Link to the Past. The Gerudo Desert music is the Gerudo Valley, I believe from GOTY, Ocarina of Time, although not the cooking variant, Ocarina of Time. The Grandstand music is basically the music from The Legend of Zelda. I'm pretty certain it's based on that rather than A Link to the Past due to the way it sounds. The Lost Woods music is the Lost Woods from A Link to the Past. That Mountain music as well. I don't know the track name, but it also plays on Darkwood, Death Mountain and Skull Woods in A Link to the Past. The future Hyrule music is Darkworld Overworld music from A Link to the Past. The boss themes, I'm quite uncertain since I've not heard enough of them. Same thing with the dungeon music, which I do not know if it's the same, but the overall music is so damn good, and of course you get better at the game listening to the music, it gets even more enjoyable. Up there are boot slots, shovel slot, ring slot and torch slot, which can be filled with items you find from the red chest or buy from shopkeeper who sings. Next up, let's talk about glass things. So there are glass boots, glass weapons, glass shovel. There's no glass ring, but technically there is a ring of durability that breaks in one hit and to prevent stuff from breaking, mainly your glass stuff. Note you can stack up on glass weapons. All glass weapons deal 3 damage but breaks upon getting hit, making the ring hella useful. You could of course farm glass weapons. I believe they might stack up to 9 times, although I'm not sure. Then of course there are boots of power, which adds 1 damage. I do also believe there might be a damage ring as well, although the reflect ring is kinda good since it reflects the first damage taken, but I believe it breaks afterwards, which of course protects your glass equipment. Not the glass shovel can dig out the pillar walls in the shopkeeper's room. Do not you need to bomb the pots though. If you dig out the whole shopkeeper room, I believe it's 200 rupees, although I'm not certain if that is overworld shops when he hides in the caves or if it's higher like in the dungeon shops. You can play Zelda, Link and Cadence and also unlock Yay Something, the Deku Scrub, which requires a certain amount of Deku Nuts to be handed into Tingle. He can only take 1 hit, but he can burrow underground, which makes enemies confused, so they move around randomly. It's basically like casting the Confuse spell that you can get scroll for. So yeah, once he's buried on the ground, he's basically immune to attacks, and you can just wait for enemies to move around to be in a better position before you yourself, so you need to be very careful in that mode. Of course, as him you want maximum bottles filled with fairies or red potions, also with the defense stuff. There are things you can survive. I believe greaves, boots add 0.5 defense. There's also a ring that adds 0.5 defense. It actually means there are some hits you can survive. Glass weapons are of course recommended because there's really no downside to glass weapons when you're playing a sim. The reflect ring is also kinda good since it reflects 1 hit and allows you to avoid damage. Cadence can use a shield, same as Link, but also has a special shovel weapon that can dig and deal damage that can also be infused. She also has a special move that lets her stun targets with shovel. Zelda gets magic, one reflects stuff and the other lets you shoot fire that you can control. All character abilities are bound to the L and R button. Zelda's unique weapon is rapier, and Link's of course has short sword, longsword, Cadence, and Zelda has daggers instead of a short sword. All characters have broadsword and spears. Longsword has 2 range but does not allow a shield, and spears also have 2 range but does allow a shield for Cadence and Link. However, you can hold the longsword out, then use the analog stick to spin the sword around. Yes, not Link's spin ability, which is set to the L button, but like a different spin. Which means you can do a 360 and 2 tiles away if you spin the analog stick around. So I beat the game on the 5th of December 2019, and I got the final heart container. I was missing 2 from minigames, and then 1 was on the overworld somewhere, I believe. Do note I need to do some extra things of the beating game, like scoring high enough to increase bomb shoot capacity and arrow capacity. There is also one cave location I have not found, which is just south of Gerudo village. There is a star icon, and since it's not the cave I can go into the north. Since I have fully cleared that, maybe it counts for going out of bounds and finding that house that sells the boots for 500 rupees. The proper Pegasus boots, arrow boots, that allows you to keep combo forever, although only one is sold and it can break. You can of course try and find the durability ring to prevent degradation as long as it lasts. Well, that I believe I have anything else. Including Ives, which is what the Deco Scrap is called. Do note that you can get 21 Deco Seeds if you choose to play as Zelda first. You need 20 for the character and you hand in 10 at a time. First 10 is half magic basically, and then the next 10 are Ives, who is permanently at 1 heart regardless if you pick up more heart containers. One last thing to mention is the ultimate weapons. Ultimate weapons shared for everyone. Note while the Kokiri sword for Link is unique, it still has the same range as Evil Dagger, and getting Kokiri sword automatically unlocks the Evil Dagger for both Cadence and Zelda. Link Kokiri sword, which is basically his ultimate short sword. Zelda Cadence has the Evil Dagger, which is their equivalent to it. Do note that finding one unlocks the other, since it's their variant of the same weapon. This weapon is the highest damage of 4, but only to 1 square directly ahead of where you're aiming. So yeah, Link's Zelda Cadence gets access to Fragage, which is the ultimate broadsword. This deals 2 damage and it is to 3 adjacent squares directly in front of you. Depending on the direction you're facing, this can also clear through like diggable walls, which is useful in dungeons primarily. So you can hit stuff like behind the wall, basically, since you have sort of range to it. It also pierces through shields to kind of make up for the damage. It has broadsword with titanium infused, also it is 2 damage. Do note that an obsidian broadsword can still with Rainbow Tire Frost in the bottom, aka max combo string, means it can deal 3 damage but does not have the piercing effect. Link's Zelda Cadence, Hylian Flail, which is the ultimate flail. This deals 2 damage and has a 2 in range and can attack in an L-shaped pattern. It also advances you forward when you attack. Think like Shoal with the same effect. This also knocks back enemies. So it's kind of complicated to use because you have to think in L shapes basically when you attack with it. But you can, for example, attack like things to the side. It's kind of like the horse in chess, which I believe moves 2 squares forward and then 1 to the right or 1 to the left basically. So yeah. Link's Zelda Cadence Impas Naginata, which is the spear. This weapon is kind of meant to be all infuses together. It looks like it's made out of titanium, however it only does 1 damage. It poisons the enemy, which I believe is deal 2 damage over 45 beats, so after 45 times, like you've moved around 45 times, so you stand still for 45 beats. It also heals for half heart when you defeat 5 enemies. Note that the only effect it's missing is of course the titanium and obsidian effect. This weapon has 2 range and can also be used with a shield, so I mean it only deals 1 damage, but the fact that it does also do the whole poison effect and that it also can heal you. Like, I mean, if you're good enough, the Impas Spear is actually not really that bad, to be honest. But yeah. Of course, if you have gotten it out earlier, that would have been more interesting, to be honest. Oops, I wait way too far down there, I think. No, okay. This weapon has 2 range and can be used with a shield. Character exclusive, ultimate weapons, Link only Galda Ball longsword. This deals 3 damage, has 2 range, and by holding down what is ordinary the shield button, then using the control analog stick you can spin the weapon around with its 2 range, spinning you literally have 360 reach. Zelda only, which is the Royal Rapier, which is her ultimate rapier. Deals 2 damage and has 2 range. It also does knock back, although I'm not certain if it moves you forward like a charge, like the way the flail does. Cadence only, Eli's Great Shoal. Great Shoal deals 2 damage. It also digs you forward and basically can has the broadsword effect, I believe, of hitting 3 adjacent squares forward. So yes, it does dig and move you forward, but only if it manages to dig, I believe. But you cannot use a shield with it either, just like with Link's longsword, so I think at least. But the thing is, it only digs you forward if you have a wall, I believe. It doesn't dig you forward if you're just attacking an enemy, so it only goes forward. I don't think it attacks to adjacent square forwards. It's only when it's digging, or maybe it does it otherwise, but yeah. Anyway, on to the final game, which is Pokemon Shield, Nintendo Switch. 1.2 billion. The text below is written after I had to do the Game of the Year 2019 video, which originally was meant to be recorded on 12th December 2019. So finally, number 1, just winning by a smidge. It's Pokemon Sword and Shield. Well, just Shield actually. First off, some backstory, if you don't mind. My first Pokemon game was Diamondback on the DS, I believe. I had not yet gotten a DS Lite at that point, by the way. I had a friend that had Pearl, by the way. Do not, of course, the first Pokemon game I played was either Red, Blue, or Yellow, since I had a friend that had a Game Boy. Of course, the original Game Boy had so many models, it was quite insane. I, of course, sadly never got to one. First Game Boy was Game Boy Advance SP, the tribal one, well, mostly due to trying the original Advance in a store and being impressed by Rayman Advance, considering Rayman was a decent looking PlayStation game. For graphic, I believe the Advance was a step above the Super Nintendo and kind of slightly into PlayStation territory, meaning there are kind of 3D games on it also. Of course, the Nintendo DS, the thick one, was weaker than the later light version. Do note graphically it was stronger than the Nintendo 64, and some games was quite impressive on it. Then of course came the 3DS, which I got when it came out. I got a teal one, and then later a red and black XL model, which was slimmed a bit to well being big. Then of course came the new 3DS, which I also have, and it's the SNES style one, Paul, which I got the Yossi cover for, which I'm using. Anyway, my second Pokemon game was the Pokemon Heart Gold, which was also on the DS. I believe I might have gotten a third game, since I do remember getting a bigger memory card for the 3DS due to being low on space, and I remember specifically wanting to get a certain Pokemon game, although when everything is said and done, I kind of fucked up a bit, but in the put in the bigger memory card into the 3DS XL rather than into the new 3DS. So I don't remember if I ever ended up getting a Pokemon game for it, which I believe would have been Pokemon Magma, or was it Ruby Red? I forgot. But yeah, I mean, there have been other Pokemon games before. I thought about really getting like a Black and White, X and Y, and also the other one, I forgot his name. Which the other one was the second or the most recent one. Or it used to be the most recent one before Pokemon Sword and Shield. I forgot what the other one was called. What was it? I mean, it was it Tropical Sun and Tropical Moon or whatever? No, Sun and Moon. Yeah, that's what it was called, right? Sun and Moon. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. Which of course, if you had a moon version, you would get like a bonus when playing during the night, but then if you played sun, you would only get a bonus during the sun. And like the moon was often way better because there was often way more hours of like night than it was during like the thing, you know. But yeah. So anyway, Pokemon Shield, now that I know there is a lot of people who would dislike this. Yes, not only is there no natural dex, a lot of Pokemon have been cut, also moves has been cut as well. Now I don't know exactly how high the number of pokes had gotten at this point, but yeah, if you lost several of your favorites, then my condolences. Also note that if you run the defense of, they did not have time to put in more moves, well, apparently smart hackers that are coding stuff in the same data as the game actually uses have shown that you can take the data from previous games and convert it for the new ones, so they could have done that rather than cutting moves. And yes, apparently you can also make it possible to move over old pokes from previous games using some coding as well, although it was never implemented. But yeah, despite all this, I really like it. So probably because I haven't played in such a long time, and honestly the music is fantastic, although it's still pretty hard to beat Team Galactic's team. I mean, probably one of the best Pokemon teams you fight. I mean, at least they are a threat. you know, like a lot of other Pokemon teams, but yeah. So the music overall is really good. Now in the game you can have 3 rivals. First you buy the old pal Hop, who is not really the brightest, and I forgot like to mention the other rivals, but one of them is Bead, and then the third one is got girl, I forgot her name, Marnie I think it is. I know some funny man annoying since yes he says he has started his brother's fights, but still the Pokemon he uses as well. He actually it's not necessarily that they are bad. Actually, Wooloo and Dabool is actually not that bad. However, he decides to stick with certain moves for way too long. I'm guessing you could say he's one of those fans that really stick to a poke even if it's bad. But I mean, usually those people tend to at least try and make the best out of the pokes, because even like bad Pokemon can usually get pretty good if you just give them like the right moves, or if you just train them and like give them like things that improve their stats and stuff like that. But yeah. And I even have like some pokes that are not really optimal. Now, some say game is rushed out, but I say nay. Well, at least until Windon. Well, the thing is, Windon has a hotel, right? And you go there, but you cannot go up the 2 elevators like every other hotel, meaning the real last hotel is in the Snow Town. So yeah, no idea what they were thinking there, because when you go up basically in, like I'm adding extra here, so when you go up into the hotel, or when you go to the hotels in the other cities, you can go up the elevators. There are 2 elevators, take you to different floors. There are rooms, you can go into these rooms. Some, you know, you just have talking with things. Some gives you TMs. Some has, especially in the last city, in the Snow City, you can like encounter developers in the actual hotel. But there's also a murder mystery, or not a murder mystery, but a mystery solved of Wait the Berries or whatever it was, and it turns out it was a Pokemon that ate them, and it's pretty hilarious. And it was like the bead off thing, or it looks like a bead off, but it's not a bead off, I don't think, because bead off was in Pokemon like Diamond and stuff there. But yeah, but it's pretty hilarious. Apparently, according to an interview in Robot, a gaming magazine here in Sweden, the wild area took a lot of development time, and there is a lot of working in the background to make it work. Black time is important for that, and then like the different weathers changes what Pokemons are available, but also it seems that they change daily as well. What Pokemon are available in certain of the places on the one map, and that also changes depending on the weather and stuff like that. So yeah, and also the ones that are in the raids, the raid battles also changes daily, it seems like. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to the wild area that is working in the background that people might not necessarily see. A fun fact: first time I got to the wild area, I decided to go to the other town that you cannot enter until you have, I believe, 3 or 4 badges, because you can actually get over there without dying. But you can reach there even early on. Heck, there are some good items that you can find along the way. There are all like items, of course, Pokeballs, like the Pokemon ball looking things on the map that, you know, give you items and stuff like that. But you can also like find like items that like respawn in certain areas, and often there are like stuff that you can sell and stuff like that, and some of them are worth quite a bit, so it's definitely worth doing early on. That game has a dynamic system. It's quite nice. It lasts for 3 turns. Make a Pokemon huge and well change the move, although there aren't that many Dynamax moves. There's also Gigantamax, the ones with unique form like Nessa's Dreadnought or Dreadnought has a different Dynamax form than yours. That's because Gigantamax, usually you can tell the difference from that, but it also tends to have at least one Gimax move. Not every move seems to have a Gimax variant. Hopefully they add more over time, and not just more Gimax moves, but maybe even more Gigantamax forms like 2 patches and stuff. I had to explore and talk to as many characters as possible, and it took me 35 hours or so to beat the game. And note, after the credits there are also some more story stuff you do, which by the way the last fight technically you do is the last fight with Hop. After he has acquired the legendary wolf, which you acquire your version specific one, which like for the shield one it's the, I forgot what it's called because I always name my Pokemon different things, but yeah. And then of course he gets the sword one, but yeah. Which by the way, it's a pretty great fight. After that, of course, you do free to do whatever. Do note, first thing I did upon beating the game, like not beating this second part, you know, and beating Hop and stuff like that, but the game was to go into Hop's house, and yes, you find a Charizard there, but technically it's Charmander. It seems that Leon must have had it do some sweet egg action since your Charmander is a Gigantamax version, same as Leon during the tournament. So yeah, because it's not Leon's Charizard, obviously, because it starts out in Charmander form, so it cannot be because you cannot really evolve a Pokemon, you know, and stuff like that. So I'm guessing he has had it to do some egg action or whatever, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, raid battles are pretty fun, although some are rather annoying since the AI partners you get cannot choose. You cannot choose. So for some battles you really need to not only have type advantage but also have lots of levels on your side. Since yes, if 4 of your crap AI friends get killed, then goodbye raid battle, like you just get kicked out. You also lose after 10 turns, but it's really hard to reach that amount. Yes, you can learn moves that change the weather, moves that buff or heal allies, but up against certain opponents they can just one-shot your friends. So yeah, now from helping the different imps you get bonus cards. You get bonus cards of the people also in the city. Without a real gym and no dynamic point, you can also get the Goth Girl's second card. Do not, they say, give them a call to have them help you, but this is only if you decide to go to Window and then host a tournament, since you can choose to invite someone. But yeah, imagine if you could have like chosen a gym leader to be one of your AI allies, that would have been dope. Note there is quite a lot of customizations to clothes. You can buy also hairstyles, eye color, lenses, hair color, so you can customize your card. Outside upon beating the game, you don't unlock any new hairstyles, eye color options, or hair color options on your clothes, or even more customizations for your card, not counting the last one you get. Hopefully they could add more with patches. Anyway, that is all the games, and we are done. I don't know why I had so much room at the end there. I'm just gonna go up to the full list again, just seeing so that I did not delete anything by mistake. You know, just checking, you know. I know it took quite a while. I mean, like this part definitely ended up being the longest one, and you can see kind of why I had to delay the thing, because really the top 10 is really what took the longest, because those games just have so much more text to them. Like, it's really insane really that the top 10 just had so much text to it, you know. And you know, some of the text I thought about, like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have this much text, but you know, like, you know, and on certain games also maybe I don't talk enough about it, you know, and stuff like that. But then, you know, of course I might like make individual videos about some of the games maybe in the future, you know, and stuff like that, if people really want to, you know. Because of course, like the Pokemon game, for example, like I could have talked way more about some of the different mechanics in it, you know, and how the music is just so good and it just feels great to just play it, you know, and stuff like that. So, yeah. So anyway, that's gonna do it. So I've recorded now the 3 webcam things, and part 1. So part 1. So I would basically put, yeah, part 1 would be 31 to 20, part 2 was 19 to 10, and the part 3 was 9 to 1. But I will always take, so this is the text description for the games and nothing else. And the score of the games, I will only have that in the first video, because the score of number 10 to number 1 was changed, the score of those games. Because number 10, I'm going to just read this for you here. So number 10, the number 10 game used to have 100 million in score. The number 9 game used to have 250 million. Number 8 used to have 500 million. Number 7 had 888,888,888. So basically 888. And then number 6 had 900 million. Number 5 had 1 billion. Number 4 had 1.25 billion, and number 3 had 1.5 billion, and number 2 had 2.0 billion, and number 1 had 2.1 billion. Yes, the silent one was 1.2 billion. Your score would be next to the title. Spoilers. So yeah, and those of course was when the games was still in their old positions, like, because yeah, I forgot if I mentioned here some of the old positions here of games. I think I did actually. But yeah, because certain games, so like Cadence of Hyrule used to be like number 11 or number 13 before, or something like that. And Dragonball FighterZ used to be number 10, and Smash Bros. Ultimate used to be number 6, but it also used to be down at number 18. And of course, Detroit Become Human used to be number 6. So yeah, so there's been a lot of moving around in games, and you know, so yeah. So, but I hope that you all have enjoyed this, and you've all enjoyed my video and stuff. That hope you all have enjoyed stuff. Maybe I'll just keep these papers somewhere then. My Santa hat. Do I even fit all the papers here? I think I do actually. Yes, I fit all the papers there. That's pretty good. But yeah, so I will probably upload this right now, because I mean it's after midnight, so technically I missed, because it's 2020. We went 38 minutes over midnight. Holy shit, boss. So yeah, so I mean I will upload these as quickly as I can. So I mean they won't take long to upload because they're very, very small, but I will need to go and pee now first, and then I need to go eat. I haven't even eaten today yet. I mean, I ate breakfast a long time ago, but I did not eat that much. So yeah, I have some delicious ox fillet and some potato gratin. And ox fillet is basically, I think it's not ribeye. Ribeye is basically entrecote. I forgot what ox fillet is. I think it's like filet mignon in English and in the US. So yeah. But I hope you all enjoy this, and well, I see you soonish, I think. Sneeze. Oh man, I should have really had my hunter, all my things out, my things that can help me when I sneeze. Anyway, see you all next